let me give you a Bible verse. And then turn to Ephesians chapter 2. And let me give you a few verses, and then we'll come back to this. We'll talk about the theme of one another tonight. One another, as it is found in the Scriptures. We are family. And by virtue of being family, we have these connections that make us close to each other, relationship to each other, and so forth. So if you'll turn to Ephesians 2, I want to begin reading in verse 11, and read 2 or 3 verses, and then we'll look at some more of these. We'll get to our prayer concerns and come back to our Scriptures. Ephesians 2, in verse 11. Wherefore remember that ye, being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called circumcision in the flesh made by hands. So, in other words, the Gentiles and the Jews, that's the distinction he's making there. That at that time you were without Christ, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope, and without God in this world. Pretty sad predicament. Just look at that. And having no hope, or without God in this world. That is really the picture of any lost person that's not coming to know Jesus. But then he begins in verse 13 and says, but now, thank God for that. But now, in Christ Jesus, ye who sometimes were afar off are made nigh by the blood of Christ. It's not what we were that is of most importance. It is where we are now and what we are and what he's made us. And we rejoice in that. We're going to come back and dwell on some of these things about being a Christian, what it means tonight. But do remember these concerns. Our service is Sunday. We'll be back to a full schedule Sunday, including deacons meeting at 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, and full slate of services, Sunday school, our breakfast, our morning worship, Sunday school, all these things, and then our evening service, choir practice, and everything on Sunday. So be aware of that. And then also Vacation Bible School at that time draws near very soon, so that we need to pray for that. We still are looking for a person that will help us a few weeks at giving the school, the Bible club. If you or if you know someone that might help us just as we wrap up this school year, you let Brother Glenn know, myself know, so we can kind of plug you into that. And it's a great ministry, it's a great opportunity. These children are so responsive and so hungry for the Word and for to be a prayer warrior, and they are prayer warriors. And they have a great spiritual mindedness. So remember them and that work as we finish up the Bible close for this year. Continue to remember Tiffany. Music, she goes back tomorrow to follow up, and we'll know basically the results of what's going on. I pray for her and Jacob as they go through this time. And I want to say a word of appreciation to all of you who have fed Patrick, myself, and Jacob and Tiffany this week. I appreciate all the effort in that. It's such a blessing, and it's really it's a great deal. Tomorrow is the teenagers, right? At noon, just a covered this year at church. So we got that call, and into that. And let's get to our prayer concerns. Brother Jim Eaton, his dad, has been in the hospital. He's home now. He's doing a little better. Continue to remember him in prayer also. That God would minister there. Our shut-ins, those that recently lost loved ones. Those that need to make commitments and decisions, that Lord will lead them and give us strength to do that. We'll all be obedient. Let's begin to really especially pray for Vacation Bible School. That once again this year will be a great time of harvest and blessing and together our souls. And for these new believers who have recently been saved, they'll grow in the Lord and grow in the truth of the Word and grow in spirit, service to the Lord. Others that you'll remind us of tonight before we Dickie Honaker, her niece, remember that. Sue's niece. Others? Amen. Right. Yes, really great. Right. Just remember that family as they face these critical needs this time. Our nation, our missionaries, our students, as they finish up this year, our teachers, busy time, things going on. Others you want to give us?
Here at Chapin, that's Church on Illinois.
Here at Chapin, okay. That's fine. That's good. All right. Sandy Justice. Okay. All right. Do that. Others?
When we're running down what we did, what we can. We don't know what's going on, but we call them off. We've had a recent heart attack and things in the call. He doesn't think it's a good reason, but we don't know what.
Right.
What God has in store, that's what we talked about earlier. We don't know what God's going to do, but and yet we have prayer with him after at work today.
Amen. Amen. Praise the Lord.
There's another gentleman we work with, Mark Smith. He's in the prayer.
Yeah. Jeff Mitchell and Mark Smith. Is that? You've had kind of a little evangelism area over there like lately. That's been a real mission field, hasn't it? Oh, okay. Well, all right. Any other praise reports? We'd love to hear this. Something God's done maybe past week that you know it's God. You may want to add a word to any of those. We live through moving. That is a miracle. And no murder has been committed yet.
It's been on our prayer thing, I've been told, but a lot of ladies got the Sunday school teachers. We're getting ready in July to revamp the Sunday school, and we're going to need people called to teach.
Right.
And we need to start thinking about that now.
Right. Exactly.
Not wait till the week before.
Exactly. Great place. Such a critical time. These children must have teachers, and continue with that. So, and I'll be honest with you. If I had to make a choice, I think you would too. If I had to make a choice on any Sunday morning, whether a adult class had a teacher or a children's class had a teacher, you know it's no brainer. I'm going with the children. Because most of those adults can't be changed anyway. And there's hope for the children. Now really, I'm being facetious, but I think that's a no-brainer. We really must take care of these children and these needs, and let's pray about that. It's an urgent thing that these positions get filled. And let's pray again now to pray for the new church here. You know, summer will be here. I mean, you think about it's almost the middle of May. Look around, and school's going to be out. Summer's going to be here, and we know it's going to be fall and new church here, and it's time now to really begin to pray about those things. Thank you. Good. Others?
Remember Keisha.
Keisha, okay. Keisha, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Tim's mom. A lot of sickness like really.
Val on there. Val had cancer several years back, and she has had some tests done lately that don't look good. They haven't confirmed anything yet, but she's really concerned. So remember that.
Yeah. Remember that.
And also, Bill Wilson's my cousin has cancer.
Okay. What was that first name again?
Gail Wilson.
Gail Wilson. Okay. That very I mean, if you have somebody lost on your heart tonight, you think about it. You really like to see the sake. So many of us. Just, we must never forget our lost people. And those that are drifted away, that they will come back home. I'm always glad to know that there is a God that welcomes prodigals back home. Matter of fact, it was the father that ran to the prodigal. Wasn't it? Not vice versa. That's a word of stuff. Right. All right. God is good. We have much to be thankful for. And we must never get so busy asking that we don't also stop to thank Him and to realize what He's done, who He is, who He's made us, to be saved. And if you're saved, everything else is less than that. Paul says, if He freely gave Himself for us, shall He not also give us all things? If God didn't spare His best and Jesus didn't spare His life, you know He's going to take everything else. That's what basically says to me. All right. Anyone else? All right. We want to just enter a season of prayer. What a sweet time. Let me ask you a personal question as we begin prayer. You can answer this if you're on Spirit. I think many of you have. Most of us, maybe everyone in this room has. Sometimes we sing the song, and it's a wonderful song. It says, "Sweet hour of prayer." Right? Sweet hour of prayer. Here's the smart aleck question. How can you sing "Sweet hour of prayer" if you've never spent an hour of prayer? You can't, can you? You have to. How many of us have spent an hour? How many of us have spent like an hour of prayer? How many of us have spent an extended time of prayer? And prayer is to do with, first of all, getting us prepared. Have you ever been around somebody that was a prayer warrior and somebody asked them to pray, and there's a prolonged time of silence? You think, well, I wish they'd pray. Somebody like an A-plus personnel like me said, why don't they pray? But they're preparing themselves. Sometimes I've seen people take, seems like a long time just getting to the silence, just really getting their spirit prepared. And I think there's a lot to be said for this. We're going to pray. I'm going to ask that Sister Edna, would you start our prayer? And all of us pray that would like to pray. And I want to ask Brother Wayne back here close us, please. Let's pray. We do continue to pray and thank you for your special grace tonight, favor, love, mercy. Thank you for giving us this beautiful day and our health and peace of Jesus and joy of the Lord. For giving us the family of God to be part of. For letting us be in fellowship with you and each other. I do pray you hear all these prayers tonight. Many of us look to you. When we have lost friends, as we say, those in church, they get back in church. Those that are sick, that need a total touch. The bereaved, Lord, that need a comfort and touch tonight. All of us tonight, we're all particular needs and burdens and desires. I pray that you hear them and just answer them according to you. I do pray for our nation. I pray for our leaders. I pray for our people. Your people across this land that we humble ourselves tonight and these people come back to you. Lord, I do pray that you prepare us for the Lord today. We shall come back to worship in spirit and truth. Lord, that you'll pour out your spirit upon us, and I pray those who have great revival will break out in this place, and you'll fill this place with your love and mercy and grace. I do pray for these who are especially sick tonight, especially need your touch and awaiting test results. I pray for Tiffany tonight and Jacob, you'll give them special grace. Lord, as they go tomorrow, that things will be good. Lord, I pray for Lynn's mom tonight. I pray you'll minister there. For all these concerns that we mentioned. Lord, we thank you for prayers and praise reports that have been given here tonight. Thank you that you're such a great and wonderful, compassionate God. Hear our prayers and continue to wait in Jesus' name.
Father God, humbly come before your throne tonight, Lord. Lord, we just ask that you just clear our minds and our hearts of all those things that may be unpleasing to you. Father, there's been many requests mentioned here tonight, Lord. Lord, we all have a hurt in some form or another, Lord. Whether it's grieving a lost loved one, whether it's depression, whether it's financial, Lord, you know what those things are. Lord, Father, I pray that you will minister to each and every situation. Because some of those situations only you can minister to. Lord, we just pray for that grace that you just bestow upon us. Father, there's many people hurting out in this world. You might try to do for us. Father God, I pray that you just draw them unto you through your Holy Spirit. Or just send laborers into their path, those that we know that are lost. But Lord, that we would just plant a seed and maybe somebody come along and water. Lord, that you would give them the Spirit, Lord, to enter them into the kingdom. Father, as we go into your word here tonight, I pray that you would just open our hearts and minds, that we would receive it so that we could take it and apply it to our lives outside of here. That, Lord, that we would just grow our relationship with you each and every day. That, Lord, that you would just help us to be witnesses for you. For this is your word says in Romans 1:16. Lord, help us all to not be ashamed of the gospel. That, Lord, we can just stand strong and be bold and be firm and stand on your word. Father, we just ask for your guidance. That you would just lead us, correct us for the times that we do wrong. That we would just be more like you each and every day. And Father, bless each person that may be able to come to your house tonight. Bless those that were not able to be here for whatever the reason. Guide us and keep us and bring us back to the next appointed time. Lord, we just ask all these things in Jesus' precious and holy name.
Turn back to Ephesians 2. We find here that Paul is describing what has happened to these Ephesian Christians. He says that, of course, before they were strangers to God's promises to Israel, and that they were foreigners to what the promises were. But he says, after they were saved, look down in verse 19 of this chapter 2. He says, now therefore you are no more strangers and foreigners, but fellow citizens of the saints and of the household of God. And he says that that they have this fellowship together, that they have this relationship together, and really the truth of what we have become involves this idea of becoming part of each other. No one is ever saved and placed in a vacuum of themselves. No one is saved and put out on an island of themselves and say, okay, take as few as you can and do the best you can. It's not that way. When we are saved, we are ideally brought into the body of Christ, and in that body, represented by the local church, we become one of each other, and we share what is called fellowship. Fellowship is from the Greek word koinonia, and it means people in the same situation. It means people in the same mindset, people that are the same interest, people with the same goal, people in the same working in the same direction. And literally, as you break it down to its simplest terms, fellowship, as one guy describes it, as fellows in a ship, in the same ship, and ideally they're paddling the same way. Now, what would get very confusing, if you had people on the ship and half of them were paddling one way and the other were paddling the other way. Nowhere fast, exactly. But we are together in this fellowship, and that's what he says earlier here, that at the time past you were without Christ, but now you are made nigh by the blood of Christ, and he's made broken down this wall with the separation between us, this partition between us, and we are actually one of another now. It's part of being in this church of which Jesus is Lord. When you get saved, you really enter into a great big family. Really, and the longer you live, the more of that family you meet. They might be from the Philippines. You know, we had that young man here, that young pastor here some months ago. There might be believers in Ukraine. They might be, somebody down the road. There might be somebody across the state. Might be somebody across the country. It just might be anyone, but anywhere you go, you will find people that are your brothers and sisters because of this common relationship. It didn't take you long either. I think it's pretty easy to figure out. When you meet a person and talk to them a few minutes, it's pretty easy to figure out, what they are, who they are, isn't it? Don't take you long. And then when you find out, I know in just this past several weeks I've met some people kind of in the business sense, in the marketplace sense, that I have found that they're Christians, and it didn't take long. To me, when you walk into an office and they got Bible verses hanging on the wall, it doesn't take you long to get a feeling that you feel good about it. You feel part of that. Let's look at some verses tonight that describe this, what Paul is really described here. It says that previously we're nothing, but now we're brought into his family. And so we have this idea that we are part of one another. Now, I want somebody to help me. We need to do some popcorn reading here tonight, okay? And you need to put your brain in fast gear. Now, some of us may blow a gasket. I'm aware of that. And it could be really, maybe some nosebleed and so forth. But put your brain in a little faster gear, because we're going to walk through some verses pretty fast here to get an idea. I need for somebody to look up John 13:34. I need somebody else to look up 1 Corinthians 12:25. We got that. I need somebody else, and you should know this by memory. You shouldn't have to look this up. I need somebody else to look up Hebrews 10:25. We got that one. Somebody else, I need James 5:16. Am I offered a bid on that? Okay, thank you. I need somebody else to be looking up Ephesians 4:32. Can somebody latch on? Remember which one you took, okay? We got that covered. And let's get another or two here, and then we will move on to looking at these. Let's look at Ephesians 5:21 also. Okay, Mary's got that. And then maybe Let's look at Galatians 5:22. Could we have that one also? Okay, somebody look at Galatians 5:22 in a minute? Okay, good deal. So we've got those covered. Now what we want to do is look at these verses, and they all say something that describe the fellowship that Christians have one with another. Let's begin with John 13:34.
You command my dear that you love one another, as I have loved you, that you also love one another.
Okay, you see the one another in there? What are you supposed to do? Love one another. Jesus said, a new commandment I give unto you. Now, there have been all kinds of commandments. There's the 10 Commandments, and by the way, with God's help, Sunday morning we'll get back to the 10 Commandments. There have been all kinds of commandments. There are all kinds of commandments to the Bible. Jesus said, a new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another. Love one another. Love one another. And then he repeats it, as Sam was read there, he repeats it, he said, as I have loved you, that you also love one another. That's how we're supposed to relate to each other. Christians have this nature that we've been given by God. Because we are loved, then we are to learn and we are to practice loving each other. That's how that, there's another place that says something that, that by this shall all men know that you're my disciples. What? If you have love one to another. That's how they know. They're not going to know that we're Christians, first of all, by how deep we are in the Bible, though we need to be. They're not going to know that we're Christians by, just what we give or how much we worship. All those things are important. But really, first of all, they will notice something different because how Christians love each other. We love each other. This ought to be a haven of love where we love each other, we accept each other, our faults and all. We love other believers. We love others that God brings into the family. We love them with just as much love as we ourselves are loved by Him. So there's a great element that we need to love one another. Let's look at another verse. 1 Corinthians 12:25. Somebody have that? Okay. All right.
That there should be no division in the body, but that the members should have the same care one for another.
Amen. Do that? There should be no, the King James says schism, that's great, that's a word hard to say. Division, exactly what it means. That there should be no division, that the members should have the same care one for another. Now he's writing here, you have to appreciate Paul here because he's writing to a very divided church. A lot of them had preacher religion. Some of them said, I've got Paul, I've got Apollos, and they said, okay, so much for them. Paul said, no. No, he said, that's not how you look at this. He said, it's not about us. He said, it's about Jesus. And he said, it's about us, caring for one another. Now, when division happens, basically there is an element which means that something or someone is not being properly taken care of. I mean, many times it is. It is like that there be no divisions, but that the members should have the same care one for another. Remember in Acts 6, how the office of deacons and how they were born. Remember what was happening? It was the benevolence program was causing a division. Some widows claimed they were being neglected. The Greek speaking ladies, widows, claimed they were being neglected. Others were being taken care of. The division. What happened? Well, the disciples, the apostles said, well, we can't just quit preaching and pastoring just to take care of the needs that really need to be taken care of. We need to have other people take care of this. So the church called forth deacons to help minister to people that were being neglected, that all people could be taken care of, that there would be no division. Now what happened? Well, if you read Acts 6, and then you go and see when the deacons stood in place, then you see on Acts 7 and all what happened. The church began to explode and grow. You see, they had to deal with the division issue before they could move on. We hear that tonight. See, a lot of churches tonight, and I can name you churches, that are so divided that it is abysmal. It's terrific. And you're not going to get anything done for the Lord until you get together. God's divided. People can't work. You can't see the faith and the blessings of God and the increase of God as long as you're divided. He says there be no division, no schism, but that the members have the same care one for another. Nobody's left out. And would you not agree that many times what happens in any church is this? Either through controllers or self-seeking people, they have to have it their way all the time, and they neglect other people, their feelings. Then that happens. Sure happens. And it must not be that way. We must all work together, have the same care one for another. It doesn't matter if you've been here 80 years or if you've been here 8 days. No one is any better than anybody else, right? See? So we should have the same care. I love that here. I really believe that. I really believe there's a degree of love in this church that really has to happen. I really believe it with all my heart. And it's wonderful. It thrills my soul tonight. But we should have the same care one for another, and be careful that there be no divisions among us. So you can have difference of opinion without being divided. Are we? Sometimes some say, well, we all have to become robots, and everybody says with tape on their mouth, nobody says a word. That's how we have unity. No, that's not unity. No. Everybody's got opinions. And everybody's got their ideas on things, but don't mean we have to be divided. It means we work together. We need everybody's opinion. Sometimes I've seen it where maybe sometimes a person that was not opinionated and hadn't expressed anything about anything, they can speak up and bring wisdom that nobody else thought of. I've seen that happen. I've really seen that happen. But nobody knows what they think, what they think. They'll speak up and you think, well, my goodness, why didn't I think of that? Like, where you been all my life? Really? And we all need each other, is what we're saying. So, well, we don't really need each other. No, we need everybody. We need the people that quit. We need the people that are not going anywhere. We need the people that, I don't know where they are and what they're doing, but we need everybody. Because God needs them, and we need to be together. Okay, thirdly, not only should we love one another, not only should we care for one another, but there's another thing. Hebrews 10:25.
And let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near.
Okay. All right. Now, so many times through the year, and I'm guilty, but so many times I've heard preachers and teachers use this verse as on a negative context. And say something like, you ought to miss church. Well, you ought to miss church. There's more to it than that. There's not forsaking the assembly of yourselves together. That's the truth. And that's a solid truth. Unless we're providentially hindered, God's people ought to be in church. And we shouldn't have to be begged to come to church. I mean, really, I'm honest with you. I mean, I believe we all need to minister to each other and everything. But I think there's something missing if a person has to be begged to come to church every week. Now, I believe I've done it. I've begged and pleaded and spit and slobbered and cried and fought and done all of it. Tried to humiliate. I've done everything to get people in church. But I want to say something. Christians that are seasoned and in the Word of God shouldn't have to be begged to come to church every week. I'll stand on that. But it's more than that. The question then has to be asked, why should you not forsake the assembly of yourselves together? Well, because we need encouragement. That's why he's read there. He says, but we ought to exhort. We ought to be encouraged. But exhorting one another, lifting up each other. Exhorting is encouraging one another, and so much more as you see the day approaching. Now, I don't know exactly when Hebrews was written, but it's sometime, many, many, many thousands of years ago. So it's the first thing. If he wrote that then, now listen to the wisdom of this. We all know it's getting tougher to be a Christian. And if there's ever a time when we need to be encouraged, it's today. Because it's getting tougher. And we're getting to the place we're going to separate the men from the boys. We're going to separate the intentions of people. We're going to get down to where it's really going to be. It might cost us or whatever. But the days, the times are harder. Aren't they? No one in this building tonight can deny times are hard. We're living in times we have sinful. The Bible says it comes. But we need to encourage one another.
We need to try to help each other. We need to try to, support one another and help carry each other's burdens, because on any given day, your burden may be so great you need somebody to help you carry that. Next week, you may be encouraged, and somebody else, you may have to carry their burden. Help. To exhort means to help. Encourage means you get under the load of somebody, and you help carry the load. You help encourage them, lift them up that way. And he says, hold your place there. Hold that thought. I didn't give this out. I want to turn back to Hebrews 33. And I want to give you another verse right here. Hebrews 3:13. Here's what it says. The same thing. But exhort one another daily. See that? Exhort one another daily. While it is called today, lest ye any of you be hardened to the deceitfulness of sin. It means you got to have a constant type of encouragement, because what can happen, especially to a person that has begun to slide, if we don't encourage them, they may be gone. Here's what can happen. You've seen this pattern happen. A person can be very faithful. Church. Once they start, they drop the thing. Well, nobody thinks just a great deal about it. They say, well, probably working or something like that. And then you look around in a few months and they drop Sunday nights. And then you look around and they no longer attend Sunday school. See how this? Most people that quit church don't march to the front and stand and look outside the preacher and say, I want to announce to the church today I'm quitting church. I want to put in the record, I would like for the clerk to enter this into the record, that as of today I'm quitting church. Don't happen that way, does it? What happens? Right. But then one day, that person, we, as ourselves, we wake up one day and wonder why God seems so far away. Well, I'm not excited about church anymore. I don't read the Bible like I used to. I don't pray. I'm not burdened for my grandkids like I used to be. I'm not burdened for people I work with. Amazing grace songs don't mean a lot to me anymore. What happened? That's why he said, exhort one another daily. So we're to love each other, we are to care for one another, and we're to exhort one another. But then there's something else. All these are tied together. Would you not agree? It's like that little song that says you can't have one without the other. It's a mixture. Did I give out James 5:16? Okay.
Confess your faults one to another, encouraging each other, that we may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of the righteous man availeth much.
Okay. Confess your fault one to another. And pray for one another that ye may be healed. Now, we have a little problem with this idea. Baptists have a little bit of a problem with this idea of confess your fault one to another. Does that mean you ought to tell everybody every little thing you do wrong? No. But do you think it has the idea, we'll be here a long time, won't we? Do you think it has the idea that if I feel like Lynn's done me wrong, that I need to go to him? Stop him. You say, well, he's done me wrong, it's his job. No, that's not what the Bible says. The Bible does not say, like, if Glenn has done me wrong, in my estimation, am I to wait till Glenn comes? No. You go to him. But it also has the idea, I think, of this. It means to have a friend, a confidant, a brother or sister that you can confide in to the point of saying, look, I'm battling this. A prayer warrior. You can't talk to everybody about your problem. Would you agree with that? Okay. But if you have a confidant, a prayer warrior, a true trusted friend that you can confide in, I think you can confess your faults one to another. It means like, okay, I'm having I'm just having a problem right now. And would you help me pray? And they're not going to say, oh, you mean, Lord, really, you mean that? Because I know you've heard this story, and I bet you some of you are already ahead of me. I'm going to tell the Sam Johnson story real quick, okay? So if you don't like it, just heckle Sam, okay? You know, the three preachers are out on the boat, and they kind of get honest with each other. They do this very thing. And somehow they just kind of are under the influence of something. And they kind of got in, we need to talk to each other about our Father. One of them confessed that he was just sort of, every now and then took a little drink of liquor. He just said, I just got this addiction. And I just need to pray for him. The other one said, I tell you, I just got this problem with women. I just lust after women. I just really got this problem. And the third one said, I've got this weakness too. Mine is gossip. I can't wait to get back to your churches. I think even Noah liked that one. No, don't you tell anybody. That's right. But do you see this? Confess your faults one to another and pray for one another. The idea is pray, but it's also to confess that you may be healed. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Now here is one thing that I think that involved in this verse is this. And this is a whole other can of worms, and we don't have time to go there. The idea of this too is sometimes a person that has committed a sin, God judges them by physical illness. That does not mean for sure that all physical illness is a judgment of sin. The person, it's like, I go back to the story of Jesus and the man that was born blind. The first thing the disciples said, who sinned? They didn't say, poor man. They didn't say, let's get him a cane. They didn't say, give him a seeing eye dog. They said, who sinned? Isn't that amazing? Poor guy moping up blind. Who sinned? Jesus said, nobody. He's blind because he's going to reveal the works of God. But would you not agree that God sometimes does judge sin by sickness? You'll know it. I guarantee you. If you're sick because of the fact that God's judging for some sin in your life that you won't confess and forsake, you'll know it. You don't have to have the preachers to pronounce it or somebody to guess at it. No. You'll know it. And now here's what James says. Confess your faults one another and pray for one another that you may be healed. If there is a sickness that's been due to sin and you confess faults, you pray for one another, then there can come this idea of healing because you've got honesty. The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. He talks about Elijah and how that Elijah's prayer made a difference. And we looked at that in James earlier. But pray for one another. Confess your faults one to another. And we just need to be honest. That's the reason small groups are so important. That's the reason Sunday school classes are so important. People may be coming to a Sunday school class and they may open up and ask prayer for something they've never asked in church. On a small group, or even a personal friendship basis, they may confide in a friend that they would never confide in somebody else. All right. Let's go to another. Did I give out Ephesians 4:32? Did I give that? Somebody got there? Who had Ephesians 4:32? So another thing we need to do is not only love one another, care for one another, exhort one another, encourage one another, pray for one another, but we need to be kind to one another. Be kind. Is it a little bit ironic that Paul has to tell Christians to be kind to each other? Would you not agree that it would almost be in the definition that Christians, by whom they are, should be kind to one another? Have you ever seen Christians be unkind? Honestly. I've been in some church business meetings, and I've been in some business committee meetings, and given the context, I take the business committee meeting anytime. I'm not being ridiculous, I'm just saying sometimes we Baptists are anything but kind. Be kind. So Paul's justified following this thing, be kind to one another. Now what happens is, it goes back to this idea of confessing to one another, it goes back to this idea of control, it goes back to this idea of ideas. Have you ever seen anybody that you couldn't disagree with peaceably? You ever known nothing? I've seen a few people in life that you could not disagree with peaceably. I've seen some people, I've had some friends, that they were your friend as long as you agreed with everything that they thought of. You had to drink the same cola. You had to like the same mustard on your hot dog. You had to watch the same TV show. You for sure had to be the same political party. You had to like the same sports team. I mean, it's just, I remember long committee meetings many years ago. We'd have long committee meetings on Monday mornings, following football on Saturday. And in our long committee meetings, about half and half Kentucky and Tennessee fans. And I tell you, it got interesting. What was really interesting was this one guy invariably got ridiculously mad. And when he got mad, the guy that was on for the other team, he just poured it on. When he smelled blood, he's like sharks. When he smelled blood, he went to the jugular. I mean, he deliberately. You know, you imagine this. I mean, you'd think we were going to shoot each other over a little pigskin, a little piece of leather. I'll tell you one even better than that, in a way. It's been several years ago. Knoxville was there. This third Sunday school class, and I've had people that went to that class to kind of visit when we get to Sunday school, and here's what they said about that class. We went to Sunday school, and the first 30 minutes of the class, all the thing we talked about was Tennessee football. First 30 minutes, every Sunday was nothing but Tennessee football. Now, if I understand that, that's not Sunday school. It might be a pep club or something. That's not Sunday school. Monday morning quarterback on Sunday morning. And the idea is that what we choose to be kind or unkind about, sometimes it's no work. Paul said, be kind one to another. He didn't qualify. Tender-hearted. Means to be of an humble spirit. Be of an humble spirit to put other people for yourself. He says, be kind one to another, tender-hearted. Then he has to put in this big word, forgiving one another. Forgiving one another. Why? Because he knew that there'll be times when people are not tender-hearted. See, if everybody was kind all the time, and everybody was tender-hearted all the time, he wouldn't have to be forgiven all the time. Right? See why he said that? He knew it, didn't he?
So I was kind of thought I was working. for these Christian men to get plans to know Sunday station, Sunday people start starting it. And they were actually meeting, and he said, he came home and said he would rather work for somebody held bound than some Christian people.
There you go.
I mean, they was actually mean to him.
There you go. And that's a sad indictment. That should never be said about Christians.
It talks about people that bless God and curse men at the same mountain, because these things ought not be so.
Exactly. Going back to the business area arena too, I'll tell you something that really dawned on me many, many years ago. And in this kingdom, I've always tried to be honest, pay our debts, and do what we're supposed to do. But in working in the banking field was this. We came face to face with so many that were professing Christians that didn't take care of their personal business matters. Cheated people. Didn't pay their bills. Didn't pay them on time. I told you this, and when I was at the bank, I had to go personally to Ewing, Virginia one time and repossess a preacher's car. And he kind of threw a fit at it. He's a big old guy, but I must have been on something that day. I said, I'm not leaving without that car. Now, Patsy might have been a widow that night. I don't know, but it wasn't easy. You see the kinds of things that we deal with? All right. Exactly. Now life's with you, but now in essence, we ought to be trying. Be kind, tender-hearted, forgiving. Why should you forgive? If somebody just rubbed you the wrong way, why should you forgive? Well, there's one reason. Even as God for Christ has forgiven you. See, I used to be meaner. I think I used to be meaner than I am now. Maybe not. I don't know why, but anyway. Somebody used to say, I remember this music director one time, I was preaching pretty radically on something. He said, well, you better kind of watch it, because you'll rub the fur the wrong way. And I shot right back to him. I said, you better turn the cat around. But forgive him. If there were never insults or if everybody was kind and everybody was tender-hearted, everybody loved one another, then maybe we can forgive. But since we're not perfect, we don't live in a perfect world. So therefore, we have to forgive as God for trying to make us good. And that brings us to kindness is always tied to forgiveness. Now, this is the next thing. We've already touched on this, but look at another verse. It's part of this same verse. It's part of this kindness and forgiveness is related in spirit. Turn with me. I don't think I gave this out. Turn back to Matthew 18 this morning. Turn to Matthew 18 and verses 21 and 22. Here's Simon Peter's classic question. It involves how much am I supposed to forgive? It's really a classic question. I mean, honestly, it's probably one of the best questions that Peter had to Jesus. 21 says, then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and forgive him? So 7 times? That's a lot. That's a godly number. Lord, I'm stretching it here, but you think I ought to give, really, if I had to, if it all came down to the worst, should I really forgive him up to 7 times? See, Peter's one of these kind of guys, he wanted to have everything down in black and white. He probably carried around a little book with him and said, okay, here are the limits of my behavior today. I'm allowed 3 cursings, 2 punches in the nose. No. How many, Lord? Up till 7? And then Jesus gave his classic answer. Verse 22, Jesus said to them, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but up until 70 times 7. Now what was Jesus really saying? Really what Jesus is saying, that's exactly what he's saying. What Jesus is saying is, you don't keep score. If you and I, would you not agree with this? If you and I go through life and all we do is keep score of how people have not spoken to us, I've had people just get, this old brown bushes thing with, that pastor didn't even speak to me. Yeah. I mean, one lady stopped the pastor at the door and said, Pastor, would you please pray for me? Pray for my floating kidney. The pastor said, how can I pray for a floating kidney? I don't just pray for floating kidneys. She said, well, last week you prayed for all the loose livers. So, the thing is, what do we do? You do keep score. I know people that are not in church today because of something happened 20, 30 years ago. And if you could hear them tell it, it would be so small that you probably laugh. Really. If you knew the story of everybody that's quit church because they're offended, if you really could get them to tell you what it is, and be truthful, most of it will be so small that you'd probably have to laugh. Really. It's just amazing what we sometimes do. We constantly and be a forgiving spirit. Don't take everything personally. Because if you do, you're going to be like Peter. You're going to be writing down a lot of stuff. You're going to be logging a lot of stuff. I got a feeling that a lot of Christians are keeping a real good journal. Now, I believe in journaling. But I don't think you need to just go through life. The only thing you journal is when you're done wrong. Because you're going to be busy. Let's look at one other, and our time's already gone. Did I give up Ephesians 5:21? Okay. Okay. Well, there's a big one. Right here, that's submitting yourselves one another in the fear of God. What does submit mean? Submit actually has the idea of giving in. What's the basic principle of what is submission? Basically, submission is that I would surrender my rights or my privileges to you if it will bless you great. In other words, I don't have to have my way about anything, everything, all the time, about all matters. If maybe this is an over-exaggeration, please tell me if you only can stay in church because everything always goes your way about everything, I'm afraid you'll be church. There's only one thing that's really important, and that's to try to keep your eyes on Jesus and glorify Him. And let the little stuff kind of stay little. I tell you, the danger is when little things are allowed to fester and become big things. You see, it's the little foxes that spoil the vine. There are always a herd of little foxes nipping at your heels. They're out there. Always little foxes nipping. They're not the big bad wolf that comes and huffs and threatens to blow your house in. No, they're a little old bitty fellow that just nip at your heel. Just nag. Just little ankle biters. I've had some dogs like this. Just little old things that just nag at you. Not nothing big enough to call, you know, special congressional hearing over, but just things that bug you. People that bug you. Things, just little things that spoil the vine. See, the vines of relationship, the vines of peace, the vines of joy, the vines of contentment and happiness and walking in faith, always, they're tender. You ever notice you can be up one day just shouting praises to God, and the next day you think, my God, what's happened to me? You notice how life changes that way? You notice that no 2 days are exactly the same. So we need to learn to submit one to another. What does that mean? It means to submit yourselves one to another in the fear of God. Now, it's interesting, and I always use this passage of Scripture when I do marriage counseling about these couples who get married. I always use this passage in Ephesians, but because it leads right into husband and wife. It's the same paragraph. It begins the paragraph where Paul gives counsel to husband and wife and compares marriage. One of the highest compliments that marriage was ever given is that Paul compared marriage to the relationship between Christ and His church. And then he said, it's interesting, before he discusses all the other things that the husband is to do, the wife is to do, the first thing he says is submit yourselves one to another in the fear of God. That's a relationship. Jesus is very defensive to his bride. So he told Saul. Saul was lost. He told Saul, why are you persecuting me? Saul had been wreaking havoc on the church. The big boy, you've been doing this to me. So it's more than what one person said, you know, they love humanity, it's just people that didn't stand. A little more to that. And, you know, to live above with those we love, well, that will be glory. To live below with those we know, that's a different story. We also, I can't wait till we all get to heaven. We're going to rejoice, hug on each other, and slop around. Well, if you can't get along down here, I don't know if you'll be ready. Really? Because you're not going to be. See, I really think a lot of what you're going to be in heaven is what you learn to be down here. I think sometimes we think, well, I can just live like any way I want to down here when I get to heaven. God's going to change me to a super saint, and then I'll just be the best little saint you've ever seen in your life. Now, we're going to have a glorified body, but you've got to remember something. We're in training school right here. Right? That's why we learn. And when you die, it doesn't mean that everything you've learned in this life, when you die, it's going to be erased away. No. We're learning for eternity. Right? Why would we want to spend a lifetime in this book and be learning? And okay, get to death. Okay, it's fine. It's all gone. We're in eternity school. We're training for eternity, right? And these lessons now about how to learn from each other, it's like we better be learning because we're going to be with each other. And I'm through with this, but somebody said about Noah and all those people on the ark and all those animals and all that good deodorant and all that good stuff. They said if it wasn't for the storm on the outside, he couldn't have stood the stink on the inside. It's amazing what you put up with when you know you're in the same boat together. They were. Think about it. You can't get off that boat. Oh, I don't like the stench of this animal. Guess what? You're on here, baby. And if you want your life, you're going to stay on here. one another. How we relate. Good, Bill?
Last night I got a telephone call, this legal problem said it's a really nice car, it's beautiful. Well, he said it's a Christian one, but he actually didn't know, put two maps on.
That is a mystery. That is a mystery. Oh, boy. I saw a picture where this lady went into her bathroom, and there's a big python snake coming up. Why did y'all put a python? Gnats, mosquitoes. We got a lot to ask them about, don't we? All right, let's stand together. But Mike, would you close us?
I think Wednesday's gifts, Lord, you